Peace. Welcome back to the Absolute Boss Collective. It is around 11 a.m. on Monday. Last I checked, S&P was down 12 handles. NASDAQ was slaughtered. Dow was down 800 points. And actually, I'm done for the day. I've already made my target. I just wanted to film an intro for a video I did for y'all yesterday. And it's on a fear and greed index. And you can use that in combination with other indicators to develop a trading or investing plan. So if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Sit tight, watch the video, hit me off with a comment if you have any questions. Peace.
Okay, here is the Fear and Greed Index put together by CNN. If we scroll all the way down, there's the frequently asked questions. Okay, Fear and Greed Index. What is the CNN Business Fear and Greed Index? The Fear and Greed Index is a way to gauge stock market movements and whether stocks are fairly priced. The theory is based on the logic that excessive fear tends to drive down share prices and too much greed tends to have the opposite effect. How is fear and greed calculated? It's going to go over all of the different measures. How often is the Fear and Greed Index calculated? Every component in the index are calculated as soon as new data becomes available. So that means to me, like every day. That's a pretty vague answer, so I don't know. And most importantly, how to use Fear and Greed Index. Okay, you guys can read that on your own time. Okay, let's go back to the top of the page. And here's the index. So when I first started hearing about the Fear and Greed Index, it is basically, a market sentiment indicator. And I started hearing about it that way. People would refer to it. And based on what I've seen in the past, we're not talking about now. This is a different time. As you guys heard what homeboy Jamie Dimon said about a hurricane coming. This is a different time. I'm saying prior to that, during my decade of experience, this was always looked at that you would use this in a contrarian fashion. So if there is extreme fear, you should be bullish. And if there is extreme greed, you should be bearish. If we shout out homeboy Buffett, what does he always say? What is one of his most famous quotes? Buy when there's blood in the street. So that's the idea of how you should use this. I'm not saying you should do that. This is not financial advice. I'm just sharing what I have experienced. Knowledge, my wisdom. This is what I have experienced in my time. So here, if we're looking at close of business Friday, this is where we're standing. We have a rating of 28. We're at fear. So we're not extreme fear. You can always also switch this and see it in a timeline fashion. Okay. You also have some data. What was it? The previous close, a week ago, a month ago, and a year ago. Okay. So what is it made up of? 7 different indicators. We have market momentum, so the S&P 500 and its 125-day moving average lets you see that in a graph form. Stock price strength, so the net new 52-week highs and lows on the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, let's look at that. It says, this shows the number of stocks on the New York Stock Exchange at 52-week highs compared to those at 52-week lows. When there are many more highs than lows, that's a bullish sign and signals greed. Okay. Stock price breadth, the McClellan Volume Summation Index, okay, and it lets you know the amount or volume of shares on the New York Stock Exchange that are rising compared to the number of shares that are falling. I like this one. I'm going to read this one in its entirety. The put and call options, the 5-day average put call ratio. So options are contracts that give investors the right to buy or sell stocks, indexes, or other financial securities at an agreed upon price and date. Puts are the option to sell, while calls are the option to buy. When the ratio of puts to calls is rising, it is usually a sign investors are growing more nervous. A ratio above 1 is considered bearish. The fear and greed index uses a bearish option ratio as a signal for fear. So it looks like here we were at 0.80 on Friday. Market volatility. So this tracks the VIX and its 50-day moving average. You can see we are just above the 50-day moving average. Safe haven demand. Okay. The difference in 20-day stock and bond returns. Okay. Junk bond demand. And that's pretty much it. So I would implore you guys to go visit CNN and check out the Fear and Greed Index. This is something that you would use in combination with other indicators. Support, resistance, price action, volume, the overall trend. Are we making higher highs or are we making lower lows? This is not a be-all, end-all type of situation. This is just something to consider using in your trading and investing. This is something that I look at quite frequently. Yet I use it in combination with other things. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, especially with that upcoming Fed announcement and meeting on this coming Wednesday. I just wanted to give you guys something else that you could possibly use to help yourselves out. This is your brother in trading and investing, Absolute, signing out for the Absolute Boss Collective. Peace.